welcome to 108 gate even, where we're looking at the current energies of this current reading. And those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that we bring in the astrological energies as well, just because of we can, through Reiki, things like that. So those of you who know me from my last channel, we did have a lot of Reiki energies. Sometimes they do come through, regardless of if I want it to or not, just because sometimes it's really strong, the feelings, the energies, the emotions of the reading, of the time, of the configurations. So just giving you a heads up with that. And then you can always set the intention of yes, you would like to receive, if you want to receive. And then also any readings, personal readings, there's an email in the box below. I am in GMT time zone, so just keep that in mind. So when we're figuring out times of readings, things like that. And away we go. So at the moment, I'm not drawn to doing specific weekly or monthly astrological sign readings. But once in a while, I do get pulled to do something related to the configuration of the astrology, and maybe certain times, like now we're in Leo and Venus is in retrograde in Leo. So those kind of times, there's certain energies that you can feel pulling significantly, and I do want to try and bring more of those in. If you have any things that you would like to see, let me know. I can't promise I'll do it, but I can promise I will listen and see if I can bring it in at some point. I just have a lot going on, so I can't dedicate the time that's required to do the astrological signs the way it's required. So it doesn't mean I want to abandon it completely, but at the same time, I'm trying my best to get the videos up when I can, in between a very should we say busy lifestyle as well. So doing it in a way that's always coming forward with love, always coming forward with peace, and from a calm and giving space. So I hope you do get something from the readings. And here we go. So Leo, currently the season of Leo, and that usually focuses on general relationships, friendships, your relationships in the community, things like that. But it's not so much of a 7th house Libra energy, which is more focused on long-term partnerships, marriages, things like that, commitment, cohabiting, things like that. So the 5th house is more to do with the lighter energy of starting relationships or changing relationships. So with Venus also being around relationships and money and resources and what things you love and like, it's a great time to kind of look at this retrograde as an opportunity to develop, to grow, and to expand things you want more of, and deplete or just dissolve or discard of those things you do not want. Changing your strategies, changing your day-to-day, changing your approach, changing your perspective. So first thing that comes up is protection. Conserve what you have, save a little. So even in the small, short relationships, there is some investment happening. If you don't have the healthy short relationships, they can't develop further into the longer term healthy relationships. Therefore, in this initial stage of investing, doesn't matter what it is, if it's a project, if it's yourself, if it's a new relationship, if it's a friendship, whatever it is, job, whatever it is, you need to have everything straight. The boundaries need to come in. So this particular energy feels like it's coming in as you may not have recognized where you already have been provided protection, where you already have been provided a certain level of boundaries, have kind of been laid out for you without you even knowing. So although you haven't been able to sustain certain boundaries with certain people or in certain ways, it doesn't mean that the outline of the boundary hasn't already been drawn. So, for example, I'm seeing like a field, and then the field has a hedgerow going around outside of the perimeter of the field. But for some, if we have certain animals in there, they may find ways of going through the hedgerow or under the hedgerow, or they may be burrowing and then having tunnels out of the field, whatever it is. They may be able to jump the hedgerow, who knows, whatever animal it is. So it's not that the boundaries are not there in a tentative model, but they have to be reinforced with something else. So that would mean that they may have to have another perimeter outside in case they do get out or through, like a fence, a different kind of fence, like a wooden fence, or there are some cattle fields that have basically like electric fences around. So if they do go past one barrier, one boundary, they've got that second boundary as a kind of catch-all. So this is the protection that feels like it's coming in. You may not feel like you have a steady, firm first boundary, but you might actually have the layout of it there, ready to know where to reinforce further boundaries, know to have the courage and strength to put those boundaries in, to reinforce those boundaries, because it may be things like filial piety, when you're told that you should always respect your elders, blah, blah, blah. And yes, you do, but at the same time, that's just assuming that all the elders are also respecting others too. So I've said this before. One moment. Sorry. So I've said it before. The call came in. That basically we have to understand that yes, we have ancestors that are leading us. Yes, we have ancestors protecting us. Yes, we have ancestors doing certain things. And sorry about that having to go. But I don't want to stop this reading because it's really important. But at the same time, if we look to history, not all ancestors were upholding citizens. Not everything that was done was just. So going in with that mind, think about it for yourself. Where can you already see some boundaries are there? How can you reinforce it? So we're going to have feminine. Let's go for masculine energies. Protection. You know what? Before we do that one, let's get another. Sorry, chaos. But keeping it contained. That feels like the energy. You either go roll with the punches, or you just kind of stop and have to start again. What does that mean? If you stop and start again, if you don't actually get to the point of building your next boundary, that's the same as if you keep letting someone get away with something, or keep letting someone push your boundaries, you don't actually get to build that boundary that you require. Interesting energies right now. Realisation, there you go. So, realising this may be quite an epiphany for some of you. Realising that if you keep letting someone push you, you keep letting someone just take that extra inch, take another extra inch, before you know it, they've taken 5 miles. You need to work on your boundary. You need to work on building your foundation on the area that is protected, in the area that is protected, because if it's outside and you're not protecting that foundation that you're building, who else will? Queen of Swords will. You've got to have that feminine awareness. You've got to have that communication between your masculine and feminine to be able to understand where protection already is. Like if she has the skills and the awareness of knowing when someone is being unkind, or being it's not in a oh my god they're bad kind of vibe. It's more to do with just someone taking liberties. And it's not a massive thing, but at the same time, what message is it sending out that you allow them to even take those small things for granted from you? Therefore not appreciated, because right now that is going to be amplified. And if you're amplifying a small one like that, it grows into a big beast. We don't want that. Therefore, emotionally, where are you going to take this? Where are you going to start understanding more about your foundation, understanding more about how you emotionally protect your foundation? If someone is, or something, or an event or a situation is tarnishing or it's compromising you emotionally, it's making you feel emotionally unsettled, it's making you feel emotionally insecure or unsafe, challenge it with yourself first. Realise what is the truth of it. Allow yourself to be available to receive the truth of it. There you go. Therefore, justice will be able to come in. You can't bring justice in if you're not aware of what's the injustice. The injustice will just continue to happen if you can't stop certain behaviours, certain patterns from happening. It's a bit of a higgledy-piggledy energy. There definitely will be some more readings coming up. So if you like the way we read here, it just kind of ad hoc, and however it's got to come out, it's got to come out. The structures are always different usually. So feel welcome to subscribe and hit the bell so you get other readings coming in. So this was based mainly on the Leo with Venus in retrograde energy, bringing in awareness of where you're protected so you can reinforce that protection. Realising that is going to give you lots and lots of inner power to come to the subconscious, from the superconscious, and to the conscious from the subconscious. There's so many layers. It doesn't just stop at the subconscious. So for now, peace and love.